Like, we forced a new timeline.
This was probably one of the most impactful things that has happened in gaming.
Really deranged. Literally just running around the chaotic mall hitting 500s. Gonna
The
die.
funny thing is, like, they really think that the air staff is gonna save them. They're like,
when you red barred somebody and they go for that last, and then they just, the hands go up and the hands go down. They did compensate 10 cents per every vote for the impact of bringing back old school RuneScape.
Jagex wanted to hire you to kind of co-opt the leadership of this movement of disgruntled players.
Hey guys, it's Matt. So Wreck3d here. Welcome to PK Commentary number 38, my 14th live action PK Commentary. And you're not going to believe the killing rampage I went on today in the wilderness.
Matt, it has been many, many years since a video has went live on the So Wreck channel. You think it's time to finally come clean?
I think it's time, brother. I think it's time to come clean.
Who should say it, man? Should it be me? Should it be you? Should we just both?
I'll just say it. So Wreck3d was two people. It's always been two people. My brother and I started the So Wreck3d project in 2011, so it's been 15 years, kind of keeping this little secret here, but there's some good intention behind it. Like we were a dynamic duo behind the scenes, and I think we'll get into it during our chat here. But yeah, that's the first thing. Like, yeah, it's So Wreck3d is two people. Like, I'm the voice, and Mike was the character behind So Wreck3d.
I played in game. I think my main talent, the main reason was for PKing at first, at least. We eventually turned on the camera and turned on the mic, and you started commentating, and then I don't know, we just kind of created this duo, because whether people realize it or not, man, like, we were able to do some pretty crazy commentaries because we had this setup.
The
things we did were hilarious. Like, I don't know if you ever gone back and watched it.
I think in modern times, like, content creators like Otoblock have that, like, innate ability to be able to, like, really be dynamic PKing and also commentate at the exact same time and just be flawless. That was definitely not me. And so, like, you as, like, the PKer, I've always, like, loved watching you PK even before we started making videos. Once I started commentating while you were PKing, we kind of, like, decided, like, yeah, we should just kind of record this. It'd be kind of pretty entertaining to start kind of making these types of videos.
We got a chance to kind of showcase our humor and the attitude we had while we were PKing, because I think a lot of people, when they were out there when they were young and just trying to get kills and wanting to get loot, we were nuts. I mean, we were literally tunnel visioned on just trying to get kills and
yeah, we wanted big loot too. Like, our intention was, like, to get big kills. Like, when you got a few claw smites and a few whip smites during, like, our first, like, during the beginning portion of our videos. Yeah, the commentary piece was just like, I literally just I loved reacting to seeing big combos and
see
like,
a guy in the wild.
Really combos, like, things like that. Yeah. Just kind of like, I always felt like,
where did it come from? Where do your, like, impressions come from? Like,
I have no idea. Like, I think it started with, like, doing just, like, different types of characters, because we watched different TV shows. Like, I watched Family Guy, and it was when we were making videos, like, I think the president was President Obama, so I enjoyed doing kind of different types of impressions of different people and different characters on television. And, like, the shock factor and watching huge combos in RuneScape kind of just brought that type of impression out of me. And I mean, I'll say, like, it still lives to this day. Like, my wife will definitely, like, hear my impressions quite a bit. I'll still do impressions. Yeah, that was, it was interesting. Like, I always enjoyed watching you PvP, like, in general. Like, this goes back to, like, 2004 when we were at our neighbor's house and you were PKing on an account called FireSlayer50.
Yep.
And, like, our build was, like, or your build rather, like, was not that crazy. It wasn't like a huge PKing build, but, like, you were, like, 100 combat, you're out in the wilderness, and, like, when you got that first whip smite, like, at our neighbor's house, like, I don't know, like, that was the most euphoric PK ever. Like, this, like, when whips were, like, 5 mil each, and 5 mil in RuneScape meant a lot. Like it wasn't just
It was like
like
250
water.
bucks.
Like now 5 mils, like
Yeah.
like you could probably make it in an hour. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I was thinking too about just like the beginning of the So Wreck journey and kind of why we came back. And I think it's a similar story for people. We played RuneScape when we were really young, and then they removed free trade in the wilderness. And then they brought it back in, what was it, around like 2010, 2011.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's when we started actually making videos. And I was just thinking that it was always the things that made RuneScape taboo that made it fun, like the duel arena, luring
Yeah.
people. Not saying we did luring, but like
It might have been a Black Knight's Fortress lure in
maybe one or two,
2005.
but
I
definitely
can't
like
confirm or deny that, but like,
killing people at Green Dragons, like with
yeah,
Teleblock and Entangle, and
the
then
killing people at Green Dragons, like that was definitely like part of the game, like 100%.
yeah, and it's like this is the rough and tumble of this, like literally wilderness, right? I mean, that's why they called it the wild. But I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. It just I always felt like the player base was in opposition to Jagex in some way because it was always like the really cool things they always took away or like we're trying to limit because some kid gets scammed or he gets lured and he's gonna get upset and I don't blame him. I mean, this game was our lives. If you got
It
lured,
was.
that was literally months and
Yeah,
months
I
of
mean, it was
work.
your whole bank. Like whether it was a lure or like any unconventional death in RuneScape, whether it's due to like losing your connection or getting lured or like falling victim to Duriel 321 or whatever, like
Yeah, the
like
666 massacre.
it's brutal, it's devastating. Like and also back when we started playing, like when you died and you were way away from your items, like that was it. Like you're not gonna get them back,
I don't know
or
if
you
it's still
were
like
you
this
could,
in
or
old
you couldn't
school,
even
but
get them back. I don't even think you could get them back at that point.
oh, like running back to get the fire cape
Running back to
after
get
you
your
die.
items. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess you could run back and get your, yeah, you could have done that, but
it's
it was
still
tough back
like
then.
you
And if somebody killed you, then obviously you lost everything.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I was thinking about just our journey and stuff, and I think it is time for us to make this video because we've not really communicated much with people, and I think having seen this documentary that came out from Will, I mean, first of all, what's your kind of first impressions with that?
yeah, so like we recorded like our interview with Will over 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And when Will approached us with this video project, like I was totally over the moon and totally relieved too. Like it's like, wow, somebody wants to tell the story of old school RuneScape in its entirety and the evolution of combat and everything before and after in its entirety. And a couple years went by, and to get a message from Will last week, like, hey, the video project is finally complete, and it's coming out on the anniversary of the announcement of Old School on February 13th. Like, I my first reaction was like just like wow, I seriously can't wait for this thing. Like I'd love to watch it right now. And then like the next day we got or the next week we got to do a preview of the video. My first reaction, I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I watched the whole thing end to end for 3 hours, and it was extremely emotional for me, like inspirational, euphoric, humbling, just every bit of emotion you can think of. It was just amazing, is really like the word. Incredible. Yeah. How about you, Mike? How did you feel when you watched the video?
Yeah, dude, I think you couldn't have told the story better. I just think the way that he laid out the players, the way that he laid out Jagex's motivations over time, the way that he explained the reasons behind all the decisions that were made. Like I don't think he missed anything. I think he told
No,
the
he didn't.
complete full picture. He got our story pretty much spot on. I it's funny now reflecting on it because old school has been such a it's like continued to live on, and I think a lot of the new players don't even necessarily know or might not realize. I mean, there's people playing the game now that I don't want to say they weren't alive, but maybe there were some
Oh,
young
plenty.
some
Oh, there's so
youngins,
many
you know.
players. Oh, yeah.
But even we're too young to play, maybe 5, 10 years old now, but they love old school and they are getting to re-experience it because the player base came together and made a statement back in 2012, and we were not going to let our game just disappear forever. And I'm yeah, man, I'm so proud of what we did and what the community did. What do you think was the most important moment during the whole process to actually get the game servers back to convince Jagex?
Yeah, I think for me and for like it was the fact that we were all collaborating at that point. We had a close relationship with each other. Plus, there was kind of a line of communication to Jagex somewhat open, where there had to be a catalyst ultimately in that would justify that initial push, and letting the EOC kind of continue and then realizing this was a big mistake, and then Jagex kind of admitting that mistake in the MMG admitting that mistake in the post kind of led to us coming up with the idea of a petition. Now, at that time, we didn't really know that there was a petition, and then when we bounced the idea off, I was like, oh, Super had already made a petition a week prior, and it wasn't getting a ton of traction just because of the numbers and the influence back then. And so that's when we kind of like we're like, all right, well, can we proceed forward with this? And there was definitely like skepticism initially. Like nobody really thought that a petition could work, but you and I were kind of confident that we were going to be able to get this to work. And we wrote the petition. I think you wrote most of the petition, a lot of the petition, or we both did. But
Yeah.
it was just an incredible inflection point in the community and in the game's history.
I think we didn't know that it was going to work when we started it.
No, we didn't know.
We had no belief that it was. I mean, we were just two kids basically trying to.
We were,
it's
yeah.
like David versus Goliath is really how it felt. And I think when I reflect back on it, this was probably one of the most impactful things that has happened in gaming, or at least at that time it had been.
I think it is one of the most impactful things that's happened in gaming history, at least community-led impact and activism, where a group of community members got together and rallied an entire community to make their voices heard in a way that forced the game company to respond. And we didn't really know what the response was going to be, if there was going to be a response, but we knew we were going to give our best shot, and we knew we were going to pull out all the stops to get there to be a push forward and put our best effort there. How did you feel about the optimism of the petition, and like what were your initial raw thoughts about the potential success of bringing back old RuneScape game servers?
I think I knew that it would be a long-lasting success because it was a hedge against the future of RuneScape itself. Anyone who would ever want to play RuneScape to relive their own childhood nostalgia would come back and play on the old school servers. And we knew that going in. And so it was like RuneScape 3 can kind of just keep going and go along its natural arc, but for all of the people who had already quit and for all the people who knew that, hey, like, we're not going to play this game if you don't do this, it saved it. And I think Will, in his documentary, he rightly kind of pointed out that it did split the community at first, but if you look at it now, it's huge. It's might even be the biggest that it's ever been. And it is such a unique game style that...
And that's a testament to, like, you used the word, I don't know, it's literally like, it's a ripple, right? It's a ripple in time in a way, because we created a new timeline with the game. Like, we forced a new timeline with old school RuneScape.
Like a glitch in the Matrix.
It's almost like a glitch, yeah.
Like this didn't have to happen. Like
no,
RuneScape could have easily just continued to pass with old school, and then people would have just not even played it, and it would have just been dead, and we would have our memories of it, and that would be it. And I think, like, if they had waited too, like, let's say that they waited 5 years to bring it back, I don't know if it would have succeeded in the way that it kind of
needed that. You had to work off of the moment and the momentum, right? Like, they just had put out a massive change to the combat system, and it was rocking the game, and it was fresh and top of mind. And even though like only 25%, I think was the number, actually quit in those first 3 months, those other 75% of players were probably struggling. A lot of them were, at least the players that were combat focused. I mean, the skillers maybe not so much. They were adapting fine and kind of slowly learning. But I feel like the combat focused players, especially the PvP players, were just struggling. It's
Yeah,
very
it's fair to say that people who were skilling would have potentially continued on a bit longer. But that kind of goes back to what I was saying about it's all those aspects of the game that Jagex was always trying to limit and always trying to control, that was the uniqueness of RuneScape, and that was the reason why people kept coming back and playing. And so
Right.
when you take away free trade, you take away the wilderness, and then you take away the combat system, these moves that they kind of made over time had always been like shooting themselves in the foot. And I think with old school, it like created this timeline of like, no, like we are going to have a game version that is focused on the things that make RuneScape. And yeah, I'm just, I don't know, man. I'm so glad that we did this.
Yeah. Well, it's so poetic too. Like it's poetic because it was a fresh slate for Jagex, but it was also a fresh slate for players. It was a brand new experience, reliving that nostalgia. Like, I don't know how you felt when you first heard the old school RuneScape music that first day when the servers were released in February of 2013, but like it sent chills down my spine. I really mean that. Like it was the most out of body experience I had, just knowing like this was successful, like the activism, the community push. And it wasn't even like I wasn't even really thinking about what you and I did with the community and the influencers and the community backed behind that, but just the fact that it existed, the fact that we could play an old game server, and it wasn't a private server. It was totally sanctioned. It had everything that we loved about the old game in it. At least like that sweet spot, right? Like they talked about, like Will talked about it in the documentary. That sweet spot that was available before the Grand Exchange, before God Wars Dungeon, just kind of that sweet spot of late 2007.
I think for us, like reflecting on the So Wreck journey, and specifically when we had started in 2011, I still reflect on that and feel like from a PKing perspective, that is my favorite era of RuneScape.
Yeah.
I like the Karasi sword. I like the Chaotic Maul. I think
Yeah.
So Wrecked itself.
You love the easy button because, and it made for such great content.
It was amazing content.
It was
Chaotic
amazing
Maul
for
was
commentaries. It was amazing for
man.
impressions because like
You're
you
running
could just,
around hitting random kids.
you're like
them and
really
all that.
deranged. Literally
Yeah.
just running around a chaotic mall hitting 500s, whatever, just 500, 50, 600.
I mean, like you can't
And then
even
you're just
out
switching
eat
to
it.
the
Like you can't
Karasi
even eat.
and hitting 550.
Yeah,
whatever.
550, and then you eat 2 food. You think you're gonna live, and then you 527, and you're just dead.
I don't know about you, dude, but like a lot of the old mechanics, just going way back, like this is probably before like a lot of people who were watching this started playing, but like the old mechanics of just like people, like the old wilderness, hitting somebody with the whip, the player eating like this, hitting him with the whip, eating, and then just literally just you and I would just joke like he's on the ropes. We got him on the ropes. He's on the ropes.
You can't eat certain.
And then like when you hit the funniest thing in the world. Well, there's two things. I'll get to the whole teleport thing, but like when you red barred somebody and they go for that last, and then the hands go up and the hands go down, and they're dead. And then the best feeling in the world is obviously when that happens, and you smited somebody, and you got
the
their
smite
whip,
goes off from
or you
their head.
got claws. Oh my gosh! Or, dude, like just not even knowing that somebody had something on them, like a spec weapon or something. It's like, holy shit, I just smited that guy for a whip, or I smited that guy for like some random ass thing. Like it's like an unbelievable feeling.
I don't know
But,
how
like,
you
the
can't reproduce
thing-
that in any other PvP system, in any other game, like where you're
No, you
killing
just
someone,
can't.
you're getting all their loot, and you're risking a bunch in order to do that. And it's like the better items you bring, the better you can kill others, but the more money you're risking. And I don't know, I just that's the thing that, like, even when old school came out, I mean, the first thing we did was get 85 mage and then run up to green dragons and start murdering people. We actually weren't really killing.
Well, we knew that that's what was going to happen. Like, we knew that that's where, like, when you get 85 mage, we knew that people were going to be training at green dragons, right? And we knew that they were going to be wearing at least like a couple 100K in loot.
We never really killed people for bones, and we even said in the video, bring 3 items. I won't kill you if you bring 3 items. But people are sitting there bringing a glory and bringing full helm and the D-long and everything. And
oh yeah, the whole D-long, and then we teleblock, and then they take out the air staff.
They take the air staff out.
And they're just standing there like, it almost looks like you're just like naked. Like you're just like, oh, it's gonna die. The funny
thing is, like, they really think that the air staff is gonna save them. They're like,
it's like
and
the air's gonna go.
Nothing's happening.
I'm gonna tell you. And then, like, in 2003, 2004, when like you had a whole clan go and kill somebody, and somebody tried to telly, just so many numbers hit the guy at the same time as he's tellying. It's just like the telly bubble goes up on the guy, and it's just a bunch of zeros. But
his health bar's red.
Then, like the character disappears, and then the character reappears, and then the hands go up and the hands go down. Just like those stupid quirks about the game in 2003, 2004, 2005. I'm going back too early. 2004, 2005. Just funny as crap. Just different things about the game. Like, I mean, like that kind of spins off into like different like glitches, no clip, all this other random stuff. That's part of like the other part of the side. It all makes the game fun at the end of the day. It's buggy sometimes, but it was just fun stuff. But
yeah. It was kind of a huge part of the game, is like the inherent risk of if you're walking around at any point you could lose everything. And
it's just funny going back and watching the videos.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And it's cool because it's like you see everything happening in time. Like, we see before EOC, we see when we made the evolution of combat video where we went and got 20 kills in an inventory, and literally like, I think that was part of the reason of why Jagex realized that the whole combat system
they probably, I'll be honest, they probably like, whoa, this is pretty good. Look at this 300K views on the video. This guy's having a rampage. This is a great combat system. We got 20 kills in one inventory.
We were just murdering people. Like, people had no
idea. They did nerf a lot of stuff. I mean, like the broken beta, that video was just the funniest thing. Just killing like 25 people on one tank of food.
I mean, like, it was fun for sure.
Not balanced at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, and then into even like when old school came out, like everyone going and doing the waterfall quest, people getting one shot. I think we got killed our first attempt by.
I don't think we were not
by the
successful.
By the giant when you have to run through when you only have 10 HP and the thing just goes 10 and you're just dead. But
we were like everybody's trying to be lean getting that quest done too, like as bare minimum stats as possible to done.
And then and it was like waiting for someone else to run and get murdered by the giant, so that way you wouldn't get killed by the moss giant. So yeah, really, really awesome. I think we know the story. Like, Will's documentary covers the story very, very well. Maybe wanted to get a little bit into sort of the aftermath and stuff, and briefly talk about the elephant in the room, the whole So Wreck3d exposed thing, because I think it's like there was a lot of factors as to why things played out the way that they did. And I think most people understand over time why we sort of left the project. It was just complicated with you working for Jagex, right?
Yeah, that was definitely gonna complicate things. And like, to be fair, like I didn't really think that through. The whole exposed video was recorded a couple of months after Old School RuneScape was released, but several months before the offer by Jagex to join as a staff member. So it was frustration from not seeing the commitment from Jagex that they had promised. I know Will talked about all the emails I sent. There was so many walls of texts about like, you got a clean slate, like you got to put more developers on this game. We gotta get this thing going. We got to do updates. But the frustration of that, and then like you said earlier, Mike, like the community was split. I might have been a little naive in the videos that I produced or we produced together around the Petition era because it was pretty clear to see that if we brought back old school RuneScape or a pre-EOC game server, that it would split the community. I was trying to kind of still have one foot on the other side because not for nothing, but I was promoting the EOC. We were promoting the EOC. We were talking to Jagex about the EOC and kind of on their good side, right? Making content for them, like embellishing and making light of the situation. So like in a way it was like we were making content for the EOC, but then we were planning the whole right.
I think like when you got on the call with those guys and they recorded you and you were frustrated, it's like Jagex still at that point was kind of being sketchy and flaky and non-committal. And so
they were non-committal, 100%.
And
the communication had died. It was totally like there was nothing there, right?
Yeah.
So like they had kind of teased the idea of a further relationship, and then it kind of just tailed off.
Right. And then they come back and they're like, okay, actually, you guys were right. In fact, Matt, we want to hire you.
Correct.
Here's 10 cents for all the votes that we got. Like you guys.
Yeah,
really
that's another thing. Like, yeah, we were compensated, not like by our own ask or anything. It was just like out of the kindness of Jagex's heart, they did compensate my brother and I, or really me, for the impact of bringing back old school RuneScape. That was like 10 cents per every vote or whatever on the big poll. But the biggest thing that came with that caveat was like, hey, we want there to be more of a relationship with you. And that kind of pushed me toward like, well, I kind of have to make a decision here. Like they kind of, they were alluding at the fact that they want to hire me. And so that was in the back of my mind as things are kind of transpiring with the game at that moment. And yeah, it created a difficult situation because like if I'm gonna go and work for Jagex and kind of become a JMod, where does that leave Mike, and where does that leave the So Wreck channel in the future of content creation? And the one thing that didn't really hit me was like by working for a game company and actually representing them directly, like that is going to impact the way that you create content and the way that you have to present yourself to other people. And I didn't really think that through. Mike and I really, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I don't think we really talked about like, what would the impact of me working for Jagex actually do for us? How would we make this work going forward?
Yeah.
It was you just
can't really speak freely either. I mean, if they're making a decision you don't agree with, you can't come out against it because you literally work for them. So
right.
It kind of was like
you're walking on eggshells. I never really said this, but like part of the reason why I wanted to join Jagex was at that time was because I felt like it was going to be the way for us to be able to represent the community and to actually get the things that would make RuneScape great in the game, right? Like
longer term.
Get Jagex to start talking more about the PvP aspect and the esports potential, right? Like Dead Man mode was that attempt, right? And it worked for quite a while. I haven't been following whether or not there's still Dead Man mode seasons or anything, so forgive me if I start talking about something that doesn't exist anymore. But like,
yeah,
esports was one of the big things that like a lot of the games at the time were really embracing. Like you had League of Legends, you had World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft did esports before League of Legends and Dota and all these other games. Esports was a huge component to the content side. It really blew and amplified these games up. So like really thinking about like, how can we do this? Like hybrid PKing or different types of switches. Like Bodhi was so notorious for doing some like seven-way switches when it wasn't really easy to do that. Like Otoblock makes these switches look like nothing now. Like, and there's obviously different components now with like cheaters and people making different switches. But like
back then,
the esports component though was an angle that like I feel like there was so much tone deafness coming from the company. It's not to say like abandon PVM, abandon everything else. Like that's totally like no. I mean, obviously reflecting back now, like it's pretty clear like PVM is a massive component to old school RuneScape. It's like really a major proponent as to the success of old school with raids and other PVM related activities that like really go a long way, different content. So like, but anyway, my thought was like if I joined, like that's the ultimate way of representation of the community. But it was a tough time.
I don't think people realize that we were two young teen, early 20s living at home with our parents. And,
yeah, that was that whole dynamic too. It was tough.
I mean,
tough living at home.
No, yeah, and people don't realize that back in 2011, content creation was not what it is now, and our parents didn't think that it was a valid career or what it really even was, and people weren't making millions and millions of dollars. It was more like summer job type of money.
I think the CPM, like the amount of money you would get for 1,000 views if you were lucky, like if you had a really good partnership, it's like $2 per 1,000 views. Yeah. So like 3 million views a month would work out to like $6,000 a month. Like it's really good money for 2 college students. You know, like, I think that was like the most amount of views we ever got in
but
one
you
month.
Can't do like you couldn't do sponsorships. People did not allow
That's
you
true,
like
too. You couldn't just do
the
shout,
fans
shout.
did not allow you to do sponsorships because you would just get disliked back then. Whereas now, like every YouTube video you watch, this video is sponsored
this video is
by.
sponsored by whatever, and
it's not. I mean, if we sponsored every video back then, it'd be so much money. But you can't,
And we did. I mean, we did. There were through our partnership with, I forgot the name of the partnership company we worked with, but we did do some inline sponsorships where there were like some accelerators and things like I don't even remember.
Like
there's something out there.
We advertised some random movie one time. Like
I think we did. Yeah, some random movie. I don't even know. But but back then it was just not kosher to like it wasn't accepted to do that. And our parents were very skeptical about our successes. They really kind of judged based off of like the monetary side of things. I understand, like we're supposed to be getting ready to go to college, or I was in college. I was getting ready to kind of graduate and start my career in cybersecurity, and it was just, it's hard to convince people that invest in you that like, hey, like this whole YouTube thing could be an alternative and it could be something that we could do as a career, because like it's turning out pretty good so far. But Mike, we talked a lot about how this was impacting me, but like how did this impact you? Like when I was offered the job at Jagex, or like that was a possibility. The one thing like I don't think the community knows about you is that like you really were the brainchild behind the content creation piece of the So Wreck channel. Like all the creative ideas around the PKang setups, the Rags to Riches series. Like I did a lot of the video editing back then. Like I don't think I could do even a fraction of the video editing that you can do now. Like you're building and creating some incredible things. But like, how did this impact you? You know, 'cause like you were like the silent partner behind this.
Yeah, I think, man, it's a lot. It was kind of one of the most interesting transitions that happened for me, because when the combination of the exposed video came out and then you got let go from Jagex, the pressure from our parents was there. I think we kind of just made this decision to step back from the project, because it was like we had put in all this work building this thing for multiple years at this point, and we had found success with it, and it was this like awesome creative outlet. And then it just kind of felt like it all came crashing down. And I think we were too immature to realize at the time that it's something that we could have worked through and something that we could have continued on with. It's a lot. I didn't want the So Wreck project to end in the way that it had. And I think that's why maybe it's kind of haunted both of us a little bit over the years, because reflect back on it and it was this awesome thing, and no regrets, right? I mean, like life is great. We've both gone on to make careers and do awesome things in our lives, but it's one of those things of like what could have been.
What could have been, yeah. I think another aspect of that is like the game itself is impossible to fully put down. RuneScape as a game, once you start playing, no matter at what point you start. Like if you get really invested in the game, it's one of those games like World of Warcraft. Like we went through a period where we were super obsessed with it for 3-4 years. Then like we just stopped playing, right? But RuneScape has just been such a integral part of our lives. Like we both started playing in 2004, right? So like that's 22 years ago. And it's a
Wow.
game that we can't put
That's
down.
crazy.
So like it's always in the back of our minds. And then when you add a layer and you're so invested in it, both from like your childhood, but then also through your adulthood, it's just so hard to put down. And it's such a good game. It's such a cool game to play. Like it's so easy to pick back up. Like you can just log in and chop trees. And now it's even easier to log in and chop trees. You can just do it on your
Do
phone.
it from your
Like
phone. Yeah.
you can do it while you're at work, even like you have your other laptop and you're chopping trees. Like you can just do so many cool things. But yeah, I think the video making aspect for us and the influencing side was a passion of ours, especially when we started, and especially like during the pre-EOC era. It definitely became more of like a job and more pressure cooker after old school, and that obviously led to things. But yeah, I can't help but think, Mike, like what could have been if we continued on and just kind of sucked it up and dealt with all the garbage and just kept going. But
Yeah.
yeah. It was hard to think back then too. We were under so much like personal stress in our home with everything going on there and
No one knew what was going to happen to the game, to the future of content creation, the future of gaming. I mean,
right.
it was very, very hard to predict at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
On that note, though, I think, well, I guess first kind of want to just pose a question to our fans. Whoever was there, whoever helped support the channel, whoever helped support the petition, or even prior to that knew who So Wreck3d was, thank you. We really, really appreciate it. It gave us a run that we never could have expected. It gave us an experience that we have never forgotten. And then also like just wanted to say sorry that we didn't continue on, for anyone that we let down. Was there anything else you wanted to say to the fans, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to kind of reanimate what you just said is like this whole like chapter from the first video we ever created together through the whole petition, bringing back old school, and even all the dark moments that came after that. I just want to say that this has been the most impactful and most amazing thing that has happened to my life, and I'm incredibly grateful to everybody that supported our channel, and I'm incredibly grateful to all of the content creators that helped us along the way. There were a lot of people that are no longer making videos, people like Bonesaw PK, just Silent Core, Regicidal, people that were friends of ours that were incredibly close, and all the video makers that are still out there that are still grinding and making content and producing some of the most amazing videos that I've ever seen, and coming up with new creative content, new game modes, and new challenges, and really just kind of sinking their soul into the game. Yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for keeping it alive with the community, and thank you to the community for continuing to play this game and continuing to blossom old school RuneScape into what it has become. I truly do believe that like democratizing the game has really helped, and Jagex making that decision to kind of making it a democratic process to decide what goes into the game has really helped not only old school RuneScape, but it's helped make RuneScape 3 an amazing game as well. It's amazing. Like truly, truly grateful. It unlocked so many doors indirectly for Mike and I. I started a marketing company with a few friends, and that went pretty well. We did some influencer marketing. I continued on with my cybersecurity career, and that has really blossomed. And my passions are always evolving. There's so many cool things, so many exciting things to be grateful for. I don't know about you, Mike, where your passions lie, but there's so much to be grateful for, and this chapter has really unlocked so much. And there's so many more stories to share, but there's also so much more of the story to unfold in our next chapter as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I still do have a passion for video making, and I wanted to ask you, Matt, if you kind of want to maybe pose this question to the audience, but is there anything that you guys would maybe want to see? I mean, it's been years. We still like making videos. Maybe we could do some gaming content or maybe tech content. I don't even know.
We could do a little bit of anything you guys want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm passionate about so many things right now. I mean, you and I, Mike, are both like on an agentic AI
Yeah.
like revolution right now with our like Claude code vibing sessions. Like we're just crushing it with what we're doing. But like, I mean, one of the biggest things that I really enjoyed was just producing content with you, man. The video creation process, from like shooting the clips that were raw and unedited to editing content and producing the video, uploading every aspect of it, and then seeing the community response to that. It was just such an amazing feeling. It didn't really matter to me like the success of it, but it was just that whole process was just so much fun from the beginning. Yeah, there's still a big place in my heart for old school RuneScape.
Same here. I mean, I think I have nothing but gratitude for everything that's happened, and I'm eternally grateful. And if you guys haven't seen Will's documentary, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want, just make an AMA in the comments. Like we will answer any questions that you have. If anything's, like Mike said, if there's anything like not clear in the documentary about the history of the evolution of combat and old school RuneScape, just let us know, and we're here to help. We're here to answer your questions.
Final question, Matt, why are you all bundled up?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I'm all bundled up because it's 0 degrees here in New York, and I did not fill the oil tank up outside of my house. So yeah, I ordered some oil, and hopefully it arrives tomorrow. But tonight it's going to be making a fire and using space heaters and watching the Super Bowl.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I didn't have anything else on my end. Was there any final words, Matt? Or?
No, just thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I hope everybody's all well and you guys are doing great.
Awesome. Same here.
Hey guys, it's Matt. Should have started with that. Hey guys, it's Matt.
Hey guys, it's Matt, So Wreck3d. And after an extensive conversation with Mod MMG, the CEO of Jagex, for 3 hours on Skype last night, hashing out those details, I am proud to report that we will be getting old game servers added back into RuneScape. Everything we worked for has actually paid off. I thank you all so much for the support in signing the petition, sharing my previous videos, discussing this topic, and really speaking out for the cause. For everyone who has been cynical throughout the past few weeks, for everyone who has told us that this wouldn't be possible and that it wouldn't be worth Jagex's time, and for everyone who stayed strong and didn't get discouraged, I urge you to go and look at the evidence on the homepage. I literally cannot describe how happy I am to be part of this movement. I will be putting together another update video soon, and until then, have a good one, guys, and peace out.